if you're on the sort of the lower budget side, it might make more sense to get a nice set of primes first, because most likely the body you have isn't the most expensive one out there. So shooting in low light is going to be more of a challenge, and having a faster lens is going to help you out. Now, or if, and so I don't know, that totally depends on your style of shooting, but for me, I think that might be the way to go. That's what's important to me. For some people though, maybe the convenience of having one lens and then just kind of zooming in and out to get the size of the image that you want without having to kind of move forward or backward might be the way to go. And eventually they talk about sort of like the holy trinity of lenses, which I sort of don't even really have, but I kind of do. So in Canon, the holy trinity of lenses is the 16-35 f2.8, the 24-70 2.8, and the 70-200 2.8. And if you do the math on that, that's quite an investment, but the idea too is that you'll keep those lenses throughout your whole career. But once you own those, you've kind of covered the range from very wide angle to very, to close up. And each of these are different, they're a different type of tool. So they will be used differently, though the 50, if you're only gonna get one lens, for me, I highly recommend getting a 50. And in Canon, they make 3 different 50mm lenses. They make the 51.8, the 50mm 1.4, which is what I have, and then the 50mm 1.2. And there's tons of tests online, and you can see how what the image quality difference is, and so forth. And most tests will confirm that the image quality difference between all 3 of them is not significantly better. So if you're just starting out, that nifty 50, the 50mm 1.8, which sells new, where you can find it new for like $100, that might be the way to go to start out with. And that's if you're on either like a full frame camera or a crop sensor camera. And then if you're on the crop sensor, I also maybe recommend the 28mm 1.8. This lens, it's going to be more of like a normal focal length for you. And what I mean by normal is that it supposedly is the same field of view as a typical person's vision. So wide angle is going to see wider than what the normal person sees, just left and right. And then normal is sort of your normal field of view. And then telephoto, it's bringing the image where it's like a tighter field of view. And yeah, so other things to kind of learn about lenses is why there's a difference in price between lenses is because a couple of things. One, if the aperture is faster, so there's a 1.2 version of the 85mm, and then there's also, like I said, there's a 1.2 version of this 50. Those lenses can shoot in darker conditions than these lenses and give you proper exposure. The other thing too is that higher quality lenses will have better coatings on the lenses, and those coatings help with different things, whether it's lens flare or chromatic aberration or, well, I think those, maybe even color fringing. So what that means is that the lens manufacturer puts these special coatings on the lens that allow the light to reflect or refract in a certain way that will reduce unwanted things that you want in the image. And that might be lens flare or, like I said, chromatic aberration or color fringing. And also those coatings and or the way the glass is made will contribute to sharpness and contrast. So higher quality lenses are going to be sharper and just produce a better quality image. But for the most part, when you're starting out, the sort of just kind of use what you can get your hands on. And if you need to rent, like that's totally rent or borrow, and maybe you can collaborate with a friend that one of you will get the 50, one of you will get the 85, and that you guys will share, or what have you.